A little premature.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to yet another installment of Ask PJ Braun here at the Blackstone Labs headquarters. We were a little bit premature on that first intro. I got it in a little bit too quickly for Eric, but I think we're good to go now. And I've been waiting for us to start the podcast because I have a hilarious story to tell PJ, and I just waited. I wanted to wait till
you waited a while.
So, as some of you might know, I got terrible food poisoning 2 days ago from eating Chipotle, and I did not eat anything for a solid 24 hours straight. And then after that mark, I started feeling a little bit better and like I could start putting food down. So I started, when I left PJ's house yesterday, after giving him his Christmas present, and I had to go to my buddy's house afterwards. So on the way there, I had to stop and get gas, and all I could manage to put down that I thought was pretty bland was white cheddar popcorn. And I feel like that was like pretty bland, easy to put down, and so ate that, no problem, went to his house, and then I waited, a significant number of hours before eating anything else to go home. I think it's empty. Oh, I thought you were going through the other thing.
That one.
And, yep. And so I was waiting to go home to eat, and the only thing I really had in the house to eat was goulash that Tara had made a day or two before, which is probably not ideal for you to be eating on a fucked up food poisoned stomach, but it's all I had. And I was like, I really wanted it because I was hungry at this point. Like I'd finally gotten to a point where I had an appetite again, and I really wanted the goulash. So I was like, you know what, just make it for me and I'm gonna eat it. And if I get bad again, it's I did it to myself.
Yes.
And so I started eating a couple bites of it, and I was like, this is so good. I'm so happy I can eat again. Like that feeling of not being able to eat, and then finally like it's going down and I don't feel like shit. And I was like, thank God, I'm so happy that I can like fill my stomach and like just go to bed, because I haven't really slept good since it happened either. So I literally filled my stomach full of goulash, and I was so stuffed and I felt so good, and I was like, I'm going to fucking bed. And I don't remember anything beyond finishing the goulash and going to sleep.
Okay.
And so I wake up this morning and I like go to whip the blanket off of me to get out of bed. And as I whip it off of me, I flip the blanket off of me, and there's an Oreo on my chest. And I'm like, this is fucking weird. I don't remember eating any Oreos last night, and I put it on the nightstand, and I get up. And I'm like, babe, was I eating Oreos last night? And she's like, yes, you were eating Oreos last night before you came to bed. And I was like, what? Why did I have this one in the bed with me? And she's like, I don't know why you had that one in the bed with you. She's like, but I do know that last night before you came to bed, you were standing in the cabinet, eating Oreos, falling asleep, standing up while you were eating them.
Oh my God.
And she's like, I told you to come to bed, and you went to bed, and she was still like taking her makeup off in the bathroom when I went to bed. So she gets into the bed with me, and I'm like, curled on one side, and she lays down next to me and puts one hand and like runs it up my body and finds my hand because she likes to hold my hand when we sleep. And she puts her hand in my hand and she feels an Oreo. And she's like, what do you have in your hand? And she like opened up my hand a little bit. Now I'm passed out, completely knocked out. And she said she opened up my hand a little bit, and I like grabbed it from her and put the Oreo in my mouth, completely asleep. And she was like, either spit it out or chew it up. You can't just fucking go to sleep with an Oreo in your fucking mouth. They're gonna choke. And I just, in my sleep, just started chewing the Oreo and like chewed it 3 or 4 times and then passed out. She like shook me to wake me up. She's like, finish eating the fucking Oreo you have in your mouth. And then so she saw that I finished eating it, and then I passed back out. And then I wake up this morning with another one, and she died laughing. So we left this morning to go our separate ways, and she texts me and she's like, I hope you know that the reason why I love you is because you hoard Oreos and hide them in your sleep.
I hope you ate that one when you woke up.
It's actually still on my nightstand.
It's a nice little morning snack.
It is.
At least you didn't choke, thank God.
No, I just thought that you would think it was. I woke up and had no Oreo amnesia.
I like that when she went to take it from you, you snatched it and ate it.
Yeah, I don't remember anything about it. It's like she went to go take it. I was like, no, I need that one.
Shelby sent me a link that they have fucking carrot cake Oreos now. Excuse my language.
Bro.
Have you had them?
I love
carrot cake.
I had them last year.
Okay.
When they had them for a period of time. I'm almost positive. And I do think that when I tried them last year that I was kind of skeptical because I'm not really too much on carrot cake, and I think they were really good.
Yeah, because I love carrot cake.
Yeah, maybe I'm crazy and I'm thinking of another holiday flavor they had last year, but I'm fairly certain I had them, and they were good.
I mean, if they have carrot cakes out, I'm going to have to go try to find those.
Is there anything else you wanted to touch on before we get into this rather short list of questions?
Yes, I am going to talk a little bit about the BPJ. I just want to see, I'm trying to get a hold of Sanchez over at Superior Street Auto so I can have him send David the invoice and pay for the final cost of it.
And shout out to our boy Mike Peskin for always keeping us stocked up on the questions here week by week. We definitely appreciate you, bro. Because without Mike, we would have many less questions for you guys. So
I get some like really weird messages. That's why I'm taking a pause right now of like people that I don't know who they are, like sending me messages about like conversations that we must have had, but their numbers aren't stored.
And you're like, when did I ever talk about that with anybody, let alone with somebody I don't have their number stored? I hate that.
Oh God, that's what this is. All right.
You know, whoever's sending that is going to hear you and be like, that was definitely me. He was
maybe so.
God damn it. Oh, I know.
All right. Oh, you are. Leave me alone. All right. So here's the deal. The videos are out everywhere. There is printed directions out as well on the website, on YouTube. The BPG is out. I'm gonna explain to you guys. I'm going to explain it so well here, there should be no more questions after this. So somebody...
If you have any questions pertaining to a newspaper after this podcast, you just stop taking our calls.
I don't know. Next year we're going to do something different than the newspaper thing. Sorry.
No, we've actually completely revamped this entire newspaper conundrum.
Yeah, all because of you guys being assholes and
it's a scandal.
Trying to be scandalous.
It's...
Anybody that would... I got to be honest with you. I just want to put this out here because it's been bothering me. Anybody that would cheat on a transformation contest, which is such a positive thing when you think about it, you know?
You're a real shitbag.
All right. It's like, here's the thing. This is why it's like extra fucked up. Because cheating is fucked up anyway, right? But...
And steroids aren't cheating.
If you went through the process of transforming yourself, which is a great thing. So you did a great thing for yourself. But... in your mind, you were like, man, I did a great thing for myself, but I feel like unfulfilled by it. I need to fucking steal some money. I'm going to enter a bunch of transformation contests and fake the dates of my entry and see if this awesome thing that I did for myself can fucking scam me some money. That's really like, my brain doesn't even work that way. Like, you guys actually presented it to me today, and I was like, who does that?
But, like, you do know, like, I know probably better than most people how big of a heart you have, but you do understand that just you saying that right now, when this video comes out, there is a plethora of people that are gonna watch that shit and be like, ha ha ha, fuck you, I don't care, I'll take all the fucking money I can get, I don't give a fuck what it makes me.
Yeah, you're right, I'm shocked. Last year when the girl won, there were so many people that were like, this thing's photoshopped. And I was like, who does that? So then we had to get, like, you know, Eric and Mike and everybody in to see if it was photoshopped. And
forensic Photoshop.
In the end, we really didn't think that it was photoshopped. But there's still people that like, were like, skeptical.
Yeah, no. And that's the other thing is, like, if we were really going to rig it, like, come on. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Don't you guys think that it would be something along the lines of a little bit more than, look how obvious this Photoshop was?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I mean... Anyway, so for now, you're still going to have to do the damn newspaper in the starting pictures until I send you the new check-in. Then I guess we'll have.
Don't you let us catch you fucking altering newspaper dates, you son of a bitch.
You know, in my days of transformations, you had to do the newspaper, but now you guys don't even know where to get newspapers. It's become a hassle.
Yeah.
And anyway. You need it for your starting picture so we can verify the date, whether it can be doctored and faked or not. Stand there, hold the newspaper, show it. Guys, in the beginning pictures, make yourself look as bad as possible, too. You know, like, everyone's like, how should I stand in the pictures? Like, just stand from the front, from the side, and the back, as sloppy as you can. Stick your stomach out, relax, don't flex. And then your finale pictures, you stand in the same positions, but you know, tense up as much as you can.
Look like Zeus.
Look good. You know, it's the best transformation, most dramatic change. So you can actually sign up all the way till January 31st this year. So this whole month of January you can sign up. And the way that it works is I designed, I believe, 6 discounted stacks for the BPJ contest, and they're 20% discount. But you can use the BPJ code or your Legion code and to save another 20%. So those stacks are actually 40% off.
Or you can use the Josh Viola code, which is Josh F20.
There you go. You can do that. And regardless, put one of the codes in, and you're going to save 40% off that stack. So you're entered in relatively inexpensive. From there, the PG code always works no matter what, but you can use your leader code to get discounts on whatever other products you want to add to it as this goes on. And it'll be a 12-week transformation, just like we always do. And in the end, there will be a $10,000 prize for first place, $3,000 for second, $2,000 for third, and then we're doing a bunch of other prizes. So you got 4 through 10, I believe, is going to get a $500 store credit, and then 11 through 25, you get a $100 store credit. So we're giving all sorts of prizes this year. But what's really neat is, just like years past, first place gets free coaching from me for a whole year. You also get all of the products. You have one of every single product we have, all of the apparel. But the extra cool prize is you get a all expenses paid trip to Vegas for the Olympia with us. You can stay in the nice hotel with us, go to the after parties, eat dinner, hang out in the booth, do all that fun stuff. And that's really, really neat because we do it up when we go to Vegas for the Olympia. So that's a really cool extra prize that we're adding into it. So that's over $20,000 of cash and prizes this year. Not to mention the fun videos that we'll be doing the whole time. I'm actually going to be training myself in the videos again, which I haven't done in a long ass time.
Or maybe just Sammy.
Or maybe, yeah, you know what? It may just all be Sammy, no matter what. I'm gonna have a celebrity, at least one celebrity judge.
Probably
a mystery judge. And yes, Sammy maybe. He is an IFBB pro. So if I need IFBB pros, I know I can get him to judge.
I mean, without a doubt.
I feel like if he was the judge, though, like, he would find a way to make it unfair.
I feel like if he was the judge, he'd just be like, you look really good and all, but I should really win.
He placed himself first in all of the groups, but we're like, Sammy, you didn't even transform.
He's like, that doesn't matter.
You didn't submit anything.
I'm clearly And also, I'm an IFBB pro.
So, yeah, Sammy will be involved in it in some ways. It's a fun contest. We had over 700 contestants last year. I'd like to have over 1,000 this year. You have a whole month to sign up, so get in on it, guys, and let's have some fun. Remember that every single question that you have, you can submit it to the podcast. Last time we did a bunch of them. And we got behind, we caught up. We did like 100 of them once. Remember that? I
do remember us being several episodes behind and then thinking that we had like a bunch to go through, and then we banged them out in like 2 hours of the episode, and I couldn't even believe that we caught up that.
Yeah, we were tired after though.
Yeah, we were. We didn't go home and just go straight to sleep. I think.
Yes, so we did it. That won't happen this time. We've been doing the podcast every week lately, so you have nothing to worry about there.
And I'm very excited for the direction that the podcast should be taking in 2019.
Yes,
I think that we've got some really good things in store for you guys. So stick with us, and we have some more. I guess the word isn't generalized, but better targeted content coming your way. So that way there you can get exactly what you want out of the podcast and nothing you don't. Or maybe you can just take everything.
I think we'll do a lot of guests this year too. I get the feeling like people are starting to be like, I want to come on the podcast.
We're working on getting Joe Rogan in the podcast.
That's the big goal. That's the big goal for 2019.
Joe Rogan's coming to the Blackstone Labs podcast.
That is the big goal. So
I think with that, we really can't build up any farther than
no, we're built.
Rogan. So
we're built.
We're built. We're going to get into these
We're questions. Like the new World Trade Center. We're up.
I didn't see that coming.
We are up.
Oh, man. All right. This one says, hello, PJ and Josh. I would like to start off by thanking you for all the awesome video content Blackstone Labs has published. Without this content and your products, I highly doubt the gains I made over the past year would have been possible. My first question is, how long does your body need to get used to new muscle in order to not lose the gains? I believe you have mentioned briefly, along with your former chemist, the idea of maintaining a certain weight so your body gets used to the new muscle.
So, I get asked that question a lot. That's like a very bro science-y question, because new muscle, there's no such thing as like new muscle, because yes, you're growing, right? And so you're getting new.
It's just how developed
muscle, but it's all water in the end. So like you're getting bigger, and there's more tissue to hold up this water. So the only way to like really know how much muscle you have is like you can get like one of those in-body scans and figure out like what your actual skeletal muscle is. But just by going by like the scale and the gains that you're making, it's so tough to really give an accurate answer to that. But I'll tell you this. When you gain weight really, really fast, you can lose it really, really fast too. So if you put on your weight slow and steady, chances are you're going to keep that. You know, that's a lot harder. That's that harder earned. You know, that's that harder earned weight. And I'm not saying muscle. I'm calling it weight because it's greatly water. You know, so
because it goes the other way too. If you were to put on a lot of fat in a year, it's probably going to be a lot easier for you to take that same amount of fat off as somebody that's had it for 5 years.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely.
Just the way your body works.
So it's really a matter of how you put it on. If you put on weight slow and steady in a good way, eating the right way, training the right way, you're going to keep. You know, I think a lot of people ask this question when they're either taking pro hormones or steroids because that's the kind of stuff that'll alter your weight fast.
Yeah.
But again, let's say you take a pro hormone cycle and you do it for 30 days and you gain 10 pounds, right? You gained 10 pounds of weight.
Yep.
All right. You didn't gain fat. You didn't really gain muscle. You didn't only gain water, but you gained weight. So when you transition out of that, the key should be to stay that weight, right? So the closer you stay to that weight, that's the stuff that's going to stay for a longer period of time. If you stop, like when I did recomp, right, and I stopped it, in 6 days I lost 9 pounds. Now, I could look at that as, damn, I lost 9 pounds of fat, or I lost 9 pounds of weight. And I will chalk it up as I lost 9 pounds of weight because, honestly, I don't know that I looked any better. You know, even though I was dieting to get lean, I don't know. I was like, oh, I look good now that
I look 9 pounds less.
If anything, I honestly almost thought I looked a little bit worse, which was kind of a bummer.
Right.
I suppose that showed me the recomp had a very positive effect on me. But I don't think that 9 pounds was like 9 pounds that I like gained or lost of muscle. You know?
I don't like know for a fact exactly, you know, what your goals are, but I feel like this question is something that like I would have asked in the past because I was always so skinny and always trying to put on more weight. And so when I first started, I was 135 pounds and my goal was always to get to 190. Mm-hmm. And then when I got to 190, I was like, okay, well now the goal is 200. And then when I got to 200, then it was 215 and then it was 225. And sometime after hitting 200, I never, ever, ever wanted to be lighter than 200 ever again. I was like, I've worked so fucking hard to get up to this weight of 200 pounds. I never want to be less than 200 pounds. Mm-hmm. So I was always in this extreme fear that if I quit working out and I quit taking as much gear and I quit eating, that I would immediately drop back down to like 150. And I did that for like a year. I quit training basically. I did not take anywhere near as much test. I was nowhere near as full all the time. I was basically starving myself compared to the previous year, and I still didn't drop below 200.
How much weight did you lose?
I was at 223 was my absolute heaviest ever after that show, and then from then I dropped down to, I think my lightest was 195, mm-hmm. and I've hovered somewhere between 195 and 205 doing basically nothing.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say that I was, you know, from the time that I started at 135, I was over 200 pounds for long enough that even with no effort, my body is just used to being at that weight, and that's the amount of muscle that I made to that point to where it's not going anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at it like that, you could say that you put on 60 pounds of muscle when you started. And I think what the big factor is when you're on anabolic steroids, for instance, you have the ability to have more sarcoplasm, which is the intramuscular water. And that's why a lot of guys will take, you know, whatever steroid cycle or even a pro hormone cycle, which is also going to increase the sarcoplasm. And you go up 10 pounds fast. Like it's not 10 pounds of muscle. It's not 10 pounds of fat. I just call it weight. You just gained weight. And
it's somewhere.
Let's say you stayed on for 10 weeks, and in those 10 weeks, the weight that you gained, you looked really good with it. Then you stop and you lost that 10 pounds. I mean, realistically, the way that sarcoplasm can affect you is so dramatic that, like, for instance, I'll give you another example, actually, and we'll move on to the next question. I, right now, weigh more than when I competed in my last USAs. But if you took that same version of me and put it in this room, you'd be like, God damn, that fucking lighter version is enormous.
Right.
So that's another very interesting thing about it is what the weight actually looks like. Same thing. How it's distributed.
When I did prep for 12 weeks and then I got on stage, like the day after, I was still like 198 pounds or some shit, but I looked fucking jacked. Mm-hmm. And now I weigh 5-10 pounds more than that and I look skinny as shit.
Yeah, it's like, don't worry as much about what the weight is. The truly most important thing is what you look like. Because when I was competing as a heavyweight, no one could believe that I was a heavyweight. I was huge.
Yep. Just look in the mirror. Because right now I feel like totally out of shape, but I still people compliment me all the time. But I'm like, no, you're fucking lying.
Well, it's funny because although I'm back in really good shape again, just because I know what I was like before.
You still feel like.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to try to get big again. People are like, what are you?
Huge.
They're like, what are you now? And I'm like, not big.
Yeah.
And they get all confused. But if I came in here, 10 years ago, everybody would be like, what the fuck is that thing? Excuse my language.
It's like I met this dude at the gym when we started going to it, and he's definitely in there, very often, a little bit shorter than the Spanish dude. Like, he's in great shape. And, when I first week or two that he saw me in there, he was like, gave me a compliment, and I was like, man, I'm in terrible shape right now. And he was like, oh, you look like you're doing all right to me. Yeah. And then the other day when I seen him, I was like, yeah, I only came to this gym like 15 times last year. I only had the membership for a couple of months, but that was literally like 15 times to the gym. Like, that's insane. He was like, well, I don't know, man. Obviously, you don't need a whole lot more because you look great. And I was like, well, thanks, I appreciate it. He's like, but I just want to know, like, what the fuck did you used to look like?
Yeah.
And I was like,
because if somebody didn't know you, they would think you work out every day.
Right, exactly. And I'm like, I looked a lot fucking better than this. So, and other people probably wouldn't think so, but I do, just like you said. So he says, the next question is, if you guys do a 2019 Beat PJ contest and I start a transformation, would I be flushing my gains away? Started bulking in October. My main goal since being introduced to Blackstone Labs has been to grow. Should I forget about the contest and just focus on growing?
No, because you can still change a lot in a positive way. It's not about who gets the leanest. Now, if you're really, really, really heavy and you drop a lot, that transformation is going to be more impressive. But if you're trying to get jacked, make yourself look small in your starting pictures, then go out there and get swole. Do what I'm doing. My goal for this contest is to get fucking big.
Hell yeah.
So for like those of you who think that I'm big now, I promise you at the end of this, I'm gonna look a lot different.
We're about to get big.
A lot of it has to do with them steroids. I'm about to
them hair juices. Says, I enjoy all the guests you have on the show. In several of your videos, you mentioned legendary bodybuilders like Lee Haney, Jay Cutler, and Dorian Yates, etc. It would be great to have these guys on the podcast. Thank you for all your time and helpful knowledge. Legion member, Carolina Blue Box.
Well, I can tell you right now, it's going to be tough to get some of those guys.
Yeah. I feel like we could maybe someday pull Jay Cutler.
I think maybe someday I could get Jay.
PJ is pretty good friends with Jay.
I highly doubt Lee Haney would even want to listen to the things that I say. He's a very, very religious man.
Oh, yeah, he ain't coming.
No. And Dorian is not known for his, personality. You know what I mean? Like, he'll do Joe Rogan's podcast. It actually has done Joe Rogan's podcast. But he's a quieter guy. And he was on there more or less as, okay, you're a legendary 6-time Mr. Olympia. Let's talk about steroids type thing. Yeah. I'll go on there and talk about steroids, but I wasn't Mr. Olympia, so they don't care about what I have to say.
Right.
At least not you.
So I guess the first question is, if a Legion member had the opportunity to set up a demo at their local gym, how would they go about setting it up?
They wouldn't. It's just an inside joke. So here's the deal. We choose who does our demos on our side based on where they want them. Now, I don't want to deter you guys from doing a demo because there are some of you that could do a demo. Now, to do a demo for us, there's a lot of trust involved in this, right? Because for starters, if you're a Legion member, chances are you haven't met anybody in the staff. And maybe you're doing a good job on social media, but we have no idea what your actual people skills are.
Or who you are.
Who you are. You might be good on social media, but you may be a horrible, horrible person.
Have you ever
we haven't figured that out yet.
Have you ever seen the show Catfish?
Yeah.
Because, to be honest, there's, obviously we know who you are, for sure. But there are, every day, hundreds of people email in asking questions, and many of them are, hey, how do I go about setting up a demo like this? And to be honest with you, I really, truly do wish that I could get every Legion member to do one demo a month or something, because that would be tremendous for Blackstone Labs.
Absolutely.
And that's absolutely the goal that I have in mind that I want. It's just that when it's presented to us in a can I do it versus when it's presented by us to you in a question of can you do it, it makes it difficult for us to sort all of the technical applicants of people who are in the Legion already that would like to do a demo, and where they live also greatly plays into if we can have a demo there or if we need a demo there.
Yeah, Blackstone Labs is not trying to get catfished by you guys. And there are so many people on social media. This is a very, true statement, right? That are catfishing everyone every day.
Everything.
And the thing is, like, nobody really would know it unless these people come out in public. And then it happens sometimes, like at these fitness events where these Insta-famous people are seen, and people are like, who the F is that? That's not so-and-so. That can't be so-and-so.
Can't be.
It happens quite a bit. And so, now that's just catfishing on the looks side of it, right? But what if, you're presenting yourself as like this nice person? We don't know it. You might be a beater, a child beater or something. Or you might be the guy that like was known for like beating up his wife in town and kept it all off of social media. And then you say, hey, let me do a demo in my gym. I got a great gym. Everybody's gonna come there. And then next thing you know, this guy that we didn't really know that well, who's got a bad reputation, is selling our products in the gym. And then it turns into, well, we don't want to take Blackstone's products. They got that beater.
They got fucking crazy Jim from down there on 8th Street that killed his wife selling dust.
So I guess like the true answer to like why we won't do it is because we don't really know who you are.
I mean, like, there are people that we've reached out to and said, hey, like when we were in Las Vegas, when we were going out to Las Vegas and we were going to be there, we needed some help, and we've reached out to some Legion members who did help us with the demo. It does happen. It
definitely does happen, and I've had this. On the flip side of this, I have absolutely had some of you guys do demos for us, but most of the time, I know who the person is first.
Right, exactly. So, like, we could rattle off names, right now from people that we've invited to the booth with us and people that we've asked, hey, can you go and do this booth without us being present? Mm-hmm. It does happen. It's not impossible. It's just really a matter of trust, and not that we don't trust anybody that has messaged in and maybe has not done a demo for us. It's just a matter of knowing exactly who we're sending, where to say what at what time.
And by the way, if this is a Mike Peskin question, you can definitely do a demo.
Yes, it is.
I've met Mike in life plenty of times. We're friends.
Like I said, we know who you are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can do it.
And, like I said, when we were out in Las Vegas, we were in a spot where we did need some extra help at a booth, and there were Legion members that were there and ready to help us, and, they were rewarded for that, and we appreciate that very dearly, and we are very appreciative to have people like that, in the trenches ready to go for us. It's just when we need it.
Now, some of you I know, and you still can't do a demo. Like Gab Gizmo, I'm not okay with you doing a demo. If you're listening to this.
So he also had another question in there. He said, first off, I wanted to tag on your conversation about sneakers last week. Before I met you guys at the office, I had never seen Yeezys. I just got my 9th pair, thanks. On to my question, I was cleaning out my supplement closet and found an unopened bottle of Ostapure. I do not want to waste it, so what's the best way to take it? Current supplements are Test, Serostim, Recomp, Ortho, Gear Support, Halo Pre-Workout, Eradicate, Letro, plus multivitamin and fish oil.
That's great. Yes, take 3 of them a day. That's a current supplements. So
all of them.
Started out with Test and Serostim, so you started out right at the top and then just cruise through everything else. You got a smorgasbord.
That's the way to go.
There. 3 a day. 3 a day will last you a month.
It'll help boost things along. All right, next one says, Happy New Year's, guys. I've been enjoying the guests over the last several shows. I would be interested in hearing the cryo guy on the show, as well as Dr. Nick and maybe the folks from the new place PJ went with the workout suit.
Oh, Body 20?
Okay.
I could easily get Anthony over here to do it.
Yes.
I don't know how much cryo talk we would get.
I definitely think with as much as we have talked to people and recommended that they go try it, that it would be good to have them in here just to, what we should do is send out make an image saying, hey, send us all your cryotherapy questions. So that way there we can get everything, any in-depth thing you may not get a real good, clear answer to anywhere else, ask it there.
So there are so many new things that I've been learning from cryotherapy, just from people that are doing it, kind of because of, I don't want to take all the credit for it, because Anthony turned me onto it, so I'm turning other people onto it. But for instance, Jen with the Crohn's disease, right? Cryo is great for Crohn's. Who would have known? I would have known that. Now,
what's the correlation?
It for some reason, it just really helps with the pain. We sent Janice in there.
With the pain. I was thinking something digestive-wise.
I guess she's in pain every day from the Crohn's, no matter what. And when she went into cryotherapy, she was sold on it. She was like, this is the best I've felt since I got diagnosed with Crohn's. And so the other one is, I didn't know about this one either, but there's a woman that we know that I don't want to say who she is because it's not, you know, my business to put this out there, but there's a woman that we know that has cancer, and she wanted to try cryotherapy because she is in pain from the cancer, and she's going through whatever treatments, and it's actually helping her a lot. Like, she's like, couldn't believe how good it made her feel, so she kept on going. She's like, each time I go, I feel better. So I was like, oh, keep on going then, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, it's really amazing, I guess, all these different benefits that you can get out of cryotherapy.
That's awesome.
And I think that on a psychological side, even if there isn't concrete science, I don't know why my voice is going, hold on. Even if there isn't concrete science, right? This is what I always tell people. Even if there isn't concrete science that says cryo does this, right? If you do it and then you feel good, that's enough for me. Even if it's psychological, if you keep feeling good, like let's say you have really bad panic attacks, right? And somebody's like, you don't have to take Xanax, go do cryotherapy, and you go in cryotherapy and you don't have a freaking panic attack anymore. I mean, hey.
Realistically, with anything, if you said, hey, it's really hard for me to go to the bathroom, but when I go to cryotherapy, I'm more regular.
Yeah.
I have really bad headaches, but when I go to cryotherapy, I don't get it as often. Why would you not?
When I was, this is not a good thing, but when I was getting hammered all the time, I was actually going into cryotherapy a lot because it was wiping out my hangovers.
Right.
I was ready to go drink again.
Yeah, I mean, that's not a good thing, but it is kind of.
It did work there.
All right, next question says, hey PJ, after a couple of years of training, I've decided to step on stage. Any tips for first-timers stepping on the stage?
Well, I could give you a tip after tip after tip, but here's the best thing.
Give you the whole sword, not just the tip.
Yeah, do whatever it takes to be the best that you could possibly be. Leave no stone unturned in your preparation. Diet the best that you possibly can. Train the best that you possibly can. Do all your supplements meticulously. Don't cheat. Put all of these things together where you know you did the best that you could possibly do, because when you do that, once you go on stage, you go on stage with a different confidence. You go on stage knowing you did your best. Now, if you fucked up, excuse my language, a week before you went and ate a cake, you're going to be on stage like, damn, I don't know if I should have had that cake last week. I don't know if I look as good. Get all that out of the way. Do nothing but what you believe is going to get you to be the best that you can be. So when you go on stage, no matter what happens, whether you're 5th, 1st, 8th, no matter what, you will walk on stage knowing this is the best that you can be, and that's already a win. Because you're going into something where the rules are set, but they are certainly not concrete. So you can go in there thinking you did everything that it took to win and have somebody that you do not think is better than you beat you. And that happens all the time. So the best thing that you can do is be the best that you could possibly be. Flex Wheeler said this on the show, because no matter what happens, like he said, when Ronnie Coleman beat him, he was like, he didn't beat me. I didn't win, but I certainly didn't lose either. He went on, he believed he was the champion when he left, and I did that almost every time that I competed.
What did he say? It was you don't allow yourself to be defeated.
Yes.
You may not win, but you can't walk out defeated.
That's exactly what I was going at. So that's my best tip. Look, I can tell you pose this way, do this with your water, do all these different things, right? But just do what it takes to go out there knowing that you won by being the best that you could be. I never fucking ever cheated on my diet, ever, when I was competing, because I knew, with how crazy my brain is, that I'd be on stage thinking about it the whole time. And no matter what my placing was, I would think, damn, I would have placed better if I didn't do that. Whether I got 7th, 3rd, whatever. In my head, I'd be like, fuck, I would have been better.
Even if you got 1st.
I'll tell you this, I had a 1st, right? Where it was the first time I ever won an overall. And I really wasn't that happy when I won. I won the whole thing. This is the difference between winning and believing that you're the best that you could be. And I kind of screwed up some things that I wanted to do at the end. And then I decided to just not even take any diuretics, just fucking go in how I was going to go in, right? So I actually went in not being mentally the best that I could be, but according to the judges, I was better than everybody else, right? And so I won. I wasn't really that happy. And one of the judges was like, oh, you just won the overall. I thought you'd be a little happier. And I'd be like, honestly, I don't mean this in a cocky way, but I'm way better than this, and I don't really think any of these guys are that good. So I don't feel like it's like, let's say you know you're a good fighter, and somebody that's like an average fighter challenges you and you beat him up, like you didn't really accomplish anything good.
Been like that.
Now Mike Tyson steps up to you and you're like, oh shit, I got my workout cut out for me, and you beat him. That's more of a victory. Now you might even feel that you're the best fighter and fight Mike Tyson, and maybe it ends in a draw, but you might feel in your head, I just fucking ended in a draw. Mike Tyson, I'll take this as a win in my book, because I'm not knocked out right now.
Fuck it.
So that mental aspect of it is key. I don't ever want to see somebody go into a show and like not be at their best and then question things after. You always go in as your best. I put people in shows to win when I coach them. They're like, came to me and said, I just want to do it for the experience. I'd say, go get another coach. I train people to win. If you don't want to be a winner, I'm not going to work with you.
I was just freaking out there for a second because we almost had every question submitted this week by a Mike. One question was from an Eric.
Okay.
So we have one Eric and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Mike questions.
Shout out to the mics.
3 different.
That euphoria is hitting you right now, so I hope we got a good one coming.
We do. Actually, it's great for this. Whenever I'm dehydrated, I get very constipated. How do you stay regular when you're cutting water during the final weeks of a competition? I've tried Metamucil and extra fiber, just make me bloat since nothing is moving.
Such a common question, happens far more with women than men. Now, here's the deal: don't cut your water. This is
I knew that's where we were going.
This is like something that I have told everybody that nobody listens.
I'm doing that.
Everyone thinks that this is like
that shit.
Here's what I don't understand, right? If your body is nearly 80% water, why the fuck would you want to get rid of that? You're essentially getting rid of your body. So people think that,
or at least a good percentage of it.
Yeah, people think that they can only lose subcutaneous water. That'd be fucking amazing if it was true. But the percentage of subcutaneous water that you have on your entire body is very, very small. So you can lose a little bit of it, but you're going to lose a lot of the intracellular water too. So what happens is maybe you lost a little bit, and you dried yourself out, but you shrunk yourself down, which typically makes you look softer. That is something that every good bodybuilder will tell you, that if you try to dry out too much, you're going to go too far and you wind up looking soft. Now, the key to looking dry, believe it or not, is all based on your carb up. Because when you carb up the right way, your body sucks the water up into the muscle with the carbs, and that gives you a full, hard, quote-unquote, drier look. That's what makes you look dry. When you undereat and pull all the water out thinking that you're going to suck down, you're shrinking the muscles, which make them not push through the skin as much, making you look softer and smoother. Now, I'm about to like upset you right now. Just because you're not pulling out that water doesn't mean that you're going to start pooping a lot, because it doesn't work that way. At the end, you're burning so many calories, and you're taking in so little that you're really not eating enough to create all this waste. You're utilizing all of it at the end. That's the whole point of it, because you're in a deficit. You're not really giving yourself enough calories to create all this waste. So you're burning most of it, and you'll accumulate a little bit of waste, and it'll come out when it wants to come out. And you're also in a state of high physical stress. You're beating the shit out of your body, and unfortunately, a byproduct of that is going to be constipation. So drink water like crazy so you can at least keep peeing, and that stuff will come out when it's ready to. A little tip is don't pull your caffeine, because that will help stimulate your digestive tract and help you go to the bathroom. But when you get close to a show, you're going to get constipated. That's just part of it.
There's nothing you can do about it. There's too many variables working in that direction.
But I'll tell you what, you try dehydrating yourself early, you're going to shut your digestive system down. You're not going to carb up the right way, and you're going to get more constipated.
And then once you're stuck in there and you try to carb up, it's just not going to work out for you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
a lot of bodybuilders wind up having to do like enemas before the show.
You put in all the, like if you go to carb up, you put in the carbs, but you have no water. Like the carbs react to the water. So there's no water in your system. The carbs don't really have anywhere to go.
When I carb up, or when I'm carving an athlete up, I increase their water. The water pulls in with those carbs, soaks up into the muscle, and then when it sees the excess coming in, it keeps flushing everything out. That's what you do, guys.
Boom.
Boom.
I mean, I don't know if we're gonna banter a little bit more maybe about the bodybuilding contest.
So we can banter a little bit. We'll talk about that. I am actually, so part of the reason why I'm excited to get out a little early today, and I'm sure she wants the world to know this. I have decided with Marissa, more her idea than me, that we're gonna go to like a sex shop and pick up like a role play outfitty thing.
That's awesome.
Fun, right?
That is awesome.
We actually haven't done that yet. So just so you guys know, if you want to impress me, male or female, I am really into business attire.
Okay.
I like the CEO of the company look, or like, the professor at school that just happens to have a dirty secret.
Yeah.
But I also like clear, slutty stripper heels.
What about like the French maid look?
Yes.
I love the French maid.
Yes. I don't think I'm too like weird.
You put Tara in a French maid outfit.
French maid is good. French maid is good. This is part of the reason why I always liked Kendra Lust, because she did a lot of the like teacher
like professional.
Yes, like, oh, you were bad, stay after class.
Yes.
I love that shit.
Absolutely.
Love
That definitely is one of like high up on my list too, because I had an English teacher named Miss Jarzabakowski.
Ooh, strong name. Strong name.
Man, I really did not have very many crushes on teachers, because most of mine were ugly as shit. But she, like, curly blonde hair and the biggest titties. Just the biggest titties you ever seen on a fucking English teacher. Ever.
Yeah, most of my teachers looked like creatures from another planet, like subhumans.
Yeah.
So I didn't have those fantasies. I did have a good-looking English teacher, though, interestingly enough.
In middle school, I had the one good-looking English teacher, and then I had a really good-looking geography teacher. But she was, like, young, like, maybe, like, 25, 26, and just, like, you could tell she was just itching to get banged by a middle school kid. Like, just, she's definitely coming in wearing way too slutty clothes. And all of us, like, it was, I was the last generation that had to go through looking at your teacher in slutty clothes and you didn't get to bang them, because apparently now they all just get to bang.
Now they all bang now.
That's fucking
such bullshit. All these little pussies come out and they like act traumatized and shit. Also, these teachers that are banging the kids are hot.
I know.
What the fuck?
I know.
Language.
If Jarvis Bukowski wanted to bang me, I would have kept that secret forever.
Bang the Jarvis Bukowski right out of her.
I would still be banging her. I would still be a secret. Come on now.
My teachers were like,
oh, mine were terrible.
Creatures, dude. Like friggin'. I'm thinking of a couple of them right now. I don't want to say their names. God forbid they're still alive. And somebody says, "Hey, remember that student that you had friggin' 30 years ago?" He rips you apart on his podcast.
He's talking about
honestly, the odds of them listening to this are very, very slim. Mrs. Lucido, she was a scary one. Scary one.
He's like, all right, fuck it.
She was like as wide as she was tall. Giant glasses. Enormous, like rat-like features. Mean math teacher. Math teachers are the scary. Would you agree that math teachers are the scariest looking teachers?
They're very calculated.
Yeah. I had a math teacher that would carry around a fly swatter and like look for things to swat with it all the time.
Just
while
anything
he was giving his lectures, he'd be lecturing and all of a sudden he'd be like, shh, slap something with it. He was the weirdest dude. Mr. Giacomo, his name was.
Giacomo?
Yeah, he told my mom was the worst student he ever had.
Good.
Fuck that guy, by the way.
You're like, your name was Giacomo.
Yeah, he just thought it was bad. He just saw like the evil in me.
I had a math teacher that like about, I don't know, maybe 3 months into the school year just stopped putting papers on my desk.
Really?
Yep.
It's always the math teachers. I had a really cool, Mr. Havilian, a really cool English teacher that I did bad on a test, and he gave me a very good grade and wrote, "Good job in the game." How about that? For all you football fans.
I had a science teacher named Mr. Levinson, which was the best teacher I've ever had. And I'm pretty sure I've talked about it on here before. He would let me, and actually, Jason, for call center.
Okay.
Every single time we had his class, and I think we had it every other day, we would, because to get in and out of our class, you needed a teacher's ID card because it had a chip in it to open up the doors to that would lead in and out of the class, or in and out of the school. And every single day that we had his class, we would convince him to let him give us out his ID card so we could go out to the car to smoke and then get back in without getting in trouble. And every time he would give it to us, he would always say, "And what happens if you get caught with it?" And we'd say, "We stole it." And he goes,
"That's a good guy.
You stole it."
This has nothing to do with what we're talking about at all. But when you said Jason, it popped into my fucking head. Did you see the video that Billy has of his cyst being removed?
No. Did he send it to the group chat?
He had it on his phone. I don't know if it's something he wanted in the group chat. Did you see it, Eric? Honestly, dude, if you saw it yesterday, it would have really fucked you up, man.
Really?
Yes.
Where did he have a cyst?
What can happen inside the human body is the most freakiest shit, bro. See, he's not here, is he?
I don't think so.
I don't think it is.
He texted him.
I made David watch it. I said, this is something you have to see. The cyst that he had on his stomach, on his lower abdomen, if you remember, he had it there for a while. That little bump that he had down there, he had it for quite a while. Well, now he doesn't have it anymore.
It was, I mean, how big was it?
Maybe like the size of a grape.
Yeah, like not that big.
You'd be amazed at what can be inside that grape.
Oh.
Fucked me up.
That's bad.
Yes.
I just asked him for the video. I hope it was fun.
I hope he does too, because it's honestly, when you see it,
it was just like a cyst.
the
like
reaction is going to be multiple times. I'm actually getting chills right now thinking about it, and I'm not exaggerating either.
And it's like on his lower abdomen.
Yes. Yep.
I'm excited. Really want to see this.
Yeah, tell him I said it's a must see. It's fucking, excuse my language, disturbing though, like what people's bodies can do. So after that, I showed everybody this video that I saw one time that I wished I didn't see called The World's Biggest Zit.
It's on somebody's back,
It's
right?
on somebody's back on YouTube.
Like use their hands.
Yeah,
like,
it's absolutely horrible.
I think I like that video.
It's horrible.
I mean, like, so I don't know. It's just like,
how could that happen?
How does that happen, man? Like, how does your body produce?
Honestly, it's making me want to throw up.
Enough shit.
And I don't throw up easy.
I just don't. To me, like, that's my thing about like pimples or anything like that is like when you finally get something that's like really painful out of you, wherever it's at, you're like, what the fuck was my body doing to create something so painful?
Like sometimes you get one of those zits that like explodes out.
Yeah.
Like blast on the mirror and you're like, oh Jesus.
I get it bad.
Like these cysty type things though are like, not even exaggerating, 100 times that.
Yeah. Like I've actually had some pretty bad cysts like on my butt cheeks when I first started lifting. I think mostly because I would go and lift and then I would sit in like sweaty underwear and drive to work every day. And, you know, over time, like after a couple of months, it just is like the perfect storm for some good old fucking booty zits.
Yeah.
And like I would have them so bad to where like I literally would be in pain to sit. And I somehow was telling it to my sister one time and she's like, oh, you don't have it that bad. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, Wade, my brother-in-law, he apparently has been to the hospital multiple times to have like cysts on his butt cheeks removed. And I guess it's like really common in men just to get extremely like paralyzing ingrown hairs.
Jane had one. I was like, you better get rid of that shit before you compete.
Yeah. Yep. Apparently it's very common.
I'll tell you, when you get older, the older you get, the less this stuff happens. So that's one thing to look forward to in old age. You get other weird shit.
Come on, Billy. Hasn't sent it over.
All right, well,
but I mean,
be sure to watch it.
I definitely will.
Should I do this Black Mirror thing that everyone keeps talking about?
I haven't watched it. I don't really.
Yes. Oh, you're like really into it, David said.
Oh, it mind fucked me.
This is the thing, though.
I couldn't sleep.
I think it depends on who you talk to about this. So someone told me the other day, right? This has been a big topic of discussion. That after numerous hours, that he basically opted out to the main screen and said that you actually can't get a true ending. Yes or no?
No, there's endings. There's like 5 or 6.
So all of us could go through and watch a completely different ending.
Not the first time we've done that.
Yeah. So if we all watch it and get a different ending, then what happens? We got to go do it again?
So some endings make you replay it.
Okay.
Like it'll give you the option to go back to a certain point.
Yep.
But otherwise, it like when you get to the end, besides like one ending, it'll let you pick where you start from.
But there is an ending that says you're officially done, or no?
I can't tell you.
All right, don't
spoiling, but there's a lot of endings. There's apparently a scene that the directors can't replicate that like they haven't been able to get to. There's about 5.
How many hours have you spent?
What does that mean? Like, explain that.
Because you pick different options throughout the video.
Yeah, it's like, you know those choose your own novels?
No, I understand the
So
concept.
you pick to certain points, but they said that they can't get to a certain ending because there's a lot. Like, we played for like 2 hours, like watching a full movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I read online that there's 5.5 hours of footage.
Okay.
Damn.
So if you got to an end in 2 hours, what, you feel like you missed 3 hours of footage?
We got 3 endings.
And how much time have you invested into this?
2 hours.
So 2 hours, you got 3 endings?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh, maybe I'll try it.
Like,
I'll have to. The thing is, I'm gonna have to take a break from Game of Thrones for this. That's the issue.
So,
and I'll tell you. Let me tell you something about Marissa. Love her to pieces. Her approach to watching Game of Thrones is so different than mine that it's really pissing me off, because what she's been doing, and it's slowing fucking everything down, is she falls asleep, right? Maybe at like the halfway point or the 3/4 mark, right? And I'm watching her to make sure she doesn't fall asleep, and she does. And I try to wake her. And once she's like sleeping, she's sleeping.
Yeah.
So then, although I can't disagree with this part, she feels that she didn't get the effect of the episode,
right? And
then goes to the very beginning of it and starts it over.
Yep.
So we've watched many of them twice. When I'm like, just go to the part where you fell asleep. But so that part of it has been a little bit frustrating. She's blaming it on me, saying that we're watching them too late.
I do understand, honestly, both aspects, because I actually fall asleep very easily for most shit that I watch. So I end up having to do the same thing. But Also, if I'm attempting to watch something and I fall asleep watching it more than twice, I won't try to watch it.
Well, what I'm making her do is watch it sitting up on the couch, right? Yeah. I'm like, we're not allowed to watch it in bed because you fall asleep.
Right.
But then she gets like a blanket and tries to get all like cozy and shit. I'm like, no, sit up and watch it.
Yeah. So
because I've already seen it already.
And
so
now you're watching it for a second time.
I want to go. I want to go through it. I don't want to keep watching the shit that I already know. I want to get to the next parts.
So
because she asks a lot of questions about the next parts, just like I did when I was watching it. Nobody here told me anything, and I don't want to tell her. She needs to learn. Want to know what she's asking right now? Eric will get a kick out of this. We're only in episode 2 or 3 of season 2, and so what she's been asking is, so like when's something gonna happen with Joffrey? I hate him. And that was my question, like the first time he was even introduced. I was like,
when does he die?
I told David, I'm like, this kid better die. He dies, right? And David was like, you're gonna have to watch.
Yeah. Because that's the best way.
Now, for those of you who, like Marissa, who's not gonna listen to this, who already have watched Game of Thrones, you know he makes it for a while. And he makes it where you really fucking hate him. He's like one of the most hated characters in TV history. In fact, I hate Joffrey so much that I would never be able to support him in another role as an actor because I hate his face.
Well, he quit.
He quit?
He's not acting anymore.
What does he do now?
He's going to school.
So do what?
I don't know. He got into a big school though. He got into like a
How could it be that bad?
He hated himself so much too.
How could it be that bad?
He fucking hated himself.
I just fucking hate looking at myself.
I'll tell you right now, that kid, because you know there's real crazy like people out there.
Oh yeah.
That kid probably needs bodyguards.
Probably.
Because people will be like, I hate that motherfucker.
He fucking killed my dragon.
He killed fucking a lot of shit. He wrecked the best whore on there. He fucking tortured her.
Damn.
And by the way, guys, don't get offended by me calling her whore. That's how they spoke back then. I'm just using the proper terms.
That's what she was.
She was
So, being that we're talking about good Netflix shit, we know what I did out in California. And if you have any interest at all in seeing basically exactly what my life was like from 2012 to 2014 roughly, you can go on Netflix and you can watch the 6-episode docuseries called Murder Mountain.
Okay. How about that, guys?
It is so... It hit so close to home watching it that I was like, have I smoked with that motherfucker? Have I been there?
It even takes place out there?
Yeah, it takes place in the Emerald Triangle, which is the area where I was at. And I didn't know when I was out there that it was called Murder Mountain. But apparently, Humboldt has like, if not the highest, one of the highest counts for active missing persons cases in the United States.
Ooh, spooky.
Like, so the area where 80% of the country's marijuana is grown also happens to be home of a county where they have like, I think they said like 223 or like 293 active missing persons cases that date back to like 1975.
Jeez.
Like, motherfuckers just go out there and just don't come home regularly, like all the time. Like, Humboldt County is just, they know, like, if you go out there to work with weed, like, you're very high chance of you not making it back.
Why?
People are, secretive. People go out there just even to go hiking and they wander a little bit off the trail. You go into the wrong fucking field. They don't want you knowing where their secrets are. So, it's this series of, it's showing you they interview, it's all true, and it's all true story, and it's all real people, and some of them cover their face through the entire thing, and it shows different aspects of the culture out there and like the industry out there. So there's people that are totally illegal and they're doing everything to be on the black market and not pay taxes and do whatever they can to make as much money as they can. And there's other people who see it as like a real career that want to have all of the right permits and they want to be allowed to sell their stuff in dispensaries. They want to be allowed to be not prosecuted by the law for doing what they love. And then there's they interview the sheriff's office, and then they interview the parents of this one specific kid that went out there to work in the industry and ended up getting killed.
Wow.
And, without spoiling anything, basically starts off telling you about this kid who goes out there and ends up getting killed. I almost want to say his name is Josh, too.
Okay.
And he ends up, doing pretty well for a while, and then I guess getting involved with the wrong people. Was owed some money and ends up getting killed, and the police basically go back and tell his parents like, there's really nothing we can do for you. And one of the towns out there was called Alder Point, and a group of vigilantes, which became known as the Alder Point 8, go out and basically get to the bottom of the kid's murder. And it goes out and, there's multiple different like stories that intertwine about, the Alder Point 8 and other people that have gone missing and other things. It just gives you a super realistic insight to what my life was like for 2 years. And like the industry that you work in and the people that are like, you're dealing with and like the kind of practices that end up happening. There's one point where like when they're interviewing the sheriff that the guy says like, my first week here, like they took me out to Humboldt, out to Murder Mountain, and like he said we're out there in a convoy, and all of a sudden guys ride up on the sides of us wearing bandanas over their faces and have shotguns on their backs, and the other guys tell me like, stand down because they're actually our escorts here, like we don't run this area, they do. And they're actually here letting us in to make sure that we're good.
I'll check this out for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely a really cool... I couldn't stop. Once I started the first episode, I was like, holy shit, this is right where I was doing exactly what I was doing, and like so interesting to me. I got hooked. I watched all 6 back to back.
I have the... nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I have it now. I was curious. The final invoice, which I told David to pay right now so we can get it, for the 1979 Corvette Stingray.
What does it come out to?
If you remember, I told him that I wanted it to not go over a certain number. I said we'd like to keep it at 2,000, 3,000 being the max. It's 2,298.
Oh, that's good. I went, so yesterday when I was putting your mats in your Ferrari, I was talking to Rob, and hopefully at some point next week, maybe like Wednesday or Thursday, I'm going to go over there with my car and see if he can tune it.
Good idea. That's something that's worth putting a little money aside for. You can, for the record, ladies and gentlemen, you can tune your car in what I would like to feel is a relatively inexpensive number. Obviously money is all relative, but in the grand scheme of things, you can tune a car and have it perform considerably better, where you'll absolutely notice a lot just from the tune for relatively inexpensive. It's once you start getting into bolt-ons and superchargers and turbos and this and that you start getting into more money. But let's take my Corvette, for instance. I switched the pulley, chipped it, and had them tune it, and it didn't cost shit. The Hellcat, they did a lot to, and it was only a few $1,000s. They did a lot to the Hellcat.
I know with my car...
If you go to a stage 2 upgrade on the Hellcat, it was only like $2,000.
That's crazy.
Now, some of those cars...
Shit, it cost me more than that to go to a stage 2.
Yeah, I mean, the Hellcats are not expensive to work on. That's one of the good things about them. But, everything that I did to my Corvette, I mean, it was not more than $1,000.
Yeah, I would say my stage 1 tune, I think, was $500. And that was just kind of woke the car up. I mean, it definitely was night and day difference. But then my stage 2 required intake and a downpipe. And I think the intake and downpipe in total cost me like $1,800 or like $2,100 or something like that. And then the stage 2 tune was free because I got the parts from the tuner.
I remember that.
So because I bought the tuner's parts, they gave you the stage 2 software for free. But now I'm stuck in a spot where I got the stage 2 tune. The only way to go stage 3 with them is if I buy a new turbo, and that's $4,000. So if I buy their turbo, that's $4,000. It's gonna give me 100 horsepower.
I don't know if that's worth
but like $4,000 for 100
$4,000 for 100 horsepower. That's worth it.
I don't know, man. I just can't see it being that worth it. So like I can honestly go and buy another turbo that's just as good for less than half the price and get Rob to tune it, and it would probably be just as nasty.
Yep,
like,
I agree.
And then I also talked to him about doing that center fire exhaust that I want to do on my shit, and he was like, I was like, do you think it's possible? He's like, look at me. Like, anything is possible. It's about how much you want to spend to get it done. And I was like, true. He's like, I can make your exhaust come out of your fucking roof. I was like, well, how much do you want me to hack your car?
That's true.
I was like, true.
The turbos are 6266 for the Ferrari asked him last night.
Yeah. Well, we didn't think that it would be really all that necessary to get 264s in there. That's just retarded.
All right, well, I think we've bantered enough at this point. I would like to go get that car if you get paid for it. No.
This was a really good first podcast of 2019. We're going to go pick up an old school Corvette and go play with it. And we're going to end this thing like we always do with a peace out bye.